Hi viewers, welcome to NCK Hub Consulting and Train. This will be the episode 2 of connection timeout error, where we have stopped previously. From there, we are going to continue in this episode. So this will be a very interesting topic, as I said to you in the episode 1, how to overcome the issue in projects or any application you are practicing or inside any of your live project. If you get a connection timeout error, how can we overcome that issue? That can be an server or public application. How can we jump to the server? That we are going to have a look where we have stopped previously. So let's start creating now a private and public instance and attaching PEM keys. And we are going to start with jump to private server from the public, or else here in this place we can do create a bash public and subnets, private subnet. How to create this public and private subnet? I am going to start have a look now. So now let's start creating public subnet. Okay, with the same naming convention without no changes, guys. First, you have to create an establishment of public server. Why, sir? Why we need to create a public server? If you ask me that question, we have to have an internet connection. That internet connection is will be allowed to the VPC. From the VPC entire level, we will be connected via the internet gateway through the public connection only with respect to the association what we have allowed. From this server, we are going to establish a connection which will be available to and fro sharing and sending the data like this. Okay, దీని నుంచి దీనికి కనెక్ట్ అవటానికి we are going to plan how that connection happens. Okay, this will be the jump server. From this server we are going to connect to this one. So now that's the reason we are creating a public server as separate. From that we are going to establish. Okay, so public instance project. Now I am going to select Amazon Linux. So I am going to take free tier, which is 64-bit, and completely it is free tier eligible. Key pair also I'm going to create a new one. So now I am going to name it as project key. So I am using PEM and creating a key pair. So here there are two modes where you can do connect after it is launching. Putty you can do use, or else you can do use another way of access as well as per your requirement, where you can do plan to do git SSH. So now we are going to connect to the networking part, project VPC. So here, if you can see, this is public we are going to create. By default, it come up with public. So for this public, I need to enable my public IP. So I am doing this one. So now here I am going to create a security group. For that, I am naming it as project security, which should allow SSH. Okay. So now just this security group for allowing jump server to connect private instance. Okay. So here the security port, which initially people have told this is the security and network issue. One among them is this is the security. So network or internet issue, we are already in that process and we are going to check out. So the security which is allowed is this is the thing. Okay. So here we are allowing anywhere. And if you want, you can add other things as well, like allowing all traffic or else allowing only with respect to your security group subnet address. Like that you can do allow. Next you can do create launch an instance. So if you ask me how can I connect to this server now, yesterday or in the previous session of our recordings, if you can listen it, we have discussed about this connecting the instance directly either via the EC2 instance connect, or you can do connect with git bash instance connect. So before this loads or opens, let me click on the ID. I will go back to the downloaded key file and I will paste it to my keys. AWS key pair. So here is my key pair, project key. So to use SSH, I request you to follow git bash, where I have requested you to create a git bash connection by downloading the git, where you can do easily do install git bash. Okay, you can do select this one, you can do download it, and you can do use of it depending upon your OS. If you are using Mac, go ahead and install it, Windows and Linux similarly. Okay. Next, after this one, the beauty of git bash is wherever you are there in the connection, it will take you to the right path. Okay. You need to right click if you are using Windows, go to the git bash here. You can see automatically you are there in this path. Okay. Whichever it is being allowed, you are there in that path. Now I am going to create and allow it with respect to the read and write mode permissions as expected by the server. So I am going to click on connect. Now I am going to read this open SSH client. I have opened my SSH client. This is my secure shell client. I have located my key file. Already I am there in this path. Now I am going to run this ch mode. Change mode I am running, and by giving 400 permission. 400 is the number permission, which you can do Google also. 400 Linux command. One minute, it got stuck. Chmod 400 Linux command permission. If you can see, this is a completely permission which is set to the file to allow you. Sets the permission. If you can see, owner it you will be. Okay, the same you are going to copy it and you are going to run it. You will be getting the required permission. Okay, next you are going to connect to the private in public instance. Now this is the public instance, this is the EC2. For this one security group we have created, that security group we can create one line and we can do associate by allowing 22. So next part we have to take this SSH space hyphen I, allowing the PEM file, and this is the user. So connect to the instance, establish a connection, hit on enter. So it will prompt you authenticity. If you can see, this is the authenticity which is prompted. What is this server number? This is my public server. If you can see, this is the ID which where we have enabled for our instance public domain by enabling the EC2 instance while creating. So if you can see, this is the instance and this is my public address. The same thing, right? It is being used 44.201.236. So this is the one I am going to prompt it. It is just asking you permission to allow you or not. So then keywords were added. Now you can see you are there inside a Linux server. The private IP which is connected to the server of public instances, this is the one. Okay, now you are there in private instance. Okay, not private instance, public only. Okay, don't get confused. That is IP address only. This is IP address. ఈ IP అడ్రస్ మనకు బయటకి సెక్యూర్ గా కనిపించేది కాదు. ఓకే, బయట పబ్లిక్ కనిపించేది ఈ IP అడ్రస్ కనిపిస్తుంది. ఆల్ రైట్, దిస్ ఈజ్ దట్ వే ఎవ్రీ సర్వర్ విల్ హ్యావ్ ఏ పబ్లిక్ అండ్ ప్రైవేట్ IP అడ్రస్. నవ్ యూ అండర్స్టూడ్ ఎందుకు పబ్లిక్ ఉంటుందో ఎందుకు ప్రైవేట్ ఉంటుందో. మీది మాస్క్డ్ నెట్ మీ వరకే కనిపించేలాగా ఉంటుంది. ఇది సెక్యూర్డ్. ఇది బయట జనాలకు కనిపించింది. ఓకే, వేర్ అదర్ థర్డ్ పార్టీ పీపుల్ కెన్ సీ దిస్. టిల్ హియర్ Are you good?
Yes, sir.
So once the server is launched, you are there in now public instance till now. When the server is launched, sudo space yum space do every server update. Okay, so dependency is resolved. That means your internet is working. Okay, so you can do clear if you want. Just type here clear, you can do run. Now you are there inside this server. Okay, now if you want to proceed anything, now if you want to proceed anything like ping space google.com is working or not, you can do check like this. You are getting response. Can you see? Ping is the one which you can do. So now do control C, it will do come back to the actual server. Okay, that means your internet is working fine. This is public server. If here, if you want to install anything, and you can do check by installing any type of example, install Python, install Git, anything you can do. Sudo space yum space install Git, you can do install like this. Okay, yum is the package manager. Now you are there inside the internet working server, that is public instance. So till here one server is completed, my task one is completed. Okay, for task one this is completed. Now I have to connect to private subnet by creating the instance. So how we are going to establish that one? Click on launch instance, private hyphen instance hyphen project. So same Amazon Linux and same micro instance. Keep it, I am going to use the same. And here the details which I am going to change, if you can observe, rather than public, what it has to be here? Private. Okay, here I don't want any public IP. Why? Because this is a NAT instance. Okay, NAT instance. That NAT instance from where we have created, if I can go back to VPC and if I can check my resource map, this is my VPC, this is my resource map. So if I can check public connected to the internet gateway and it is working. Now private, it has to connect via the internet access, means then something we have to do, that's something only we are planning to do. Now we have to create this instance under the private subnet. That launch instance we are going to establish it private instance. So as we are creating private instance, do we need to enable or disable?
Enable, sir.
Disable. And hence the reason we are going to select disable option here. And next, already we have an existing security group. Same thing we are going to use. Same existing security. Now I am going to launch my instance. So this is going to my private instance. So now check out total how many servers are there. So as of now, only public is there. Let it come to the complete running mode. So let me refresh it. Now coming another instance which is private. It is still initializing. It is checking for its status checks to pass. So let's wait a while. Let's wait a while. See the beauty how we can do jump into this server. If the connection is not happening, what are the failure cases? Already we are in the failure cases stage. We have been seeing from our previous videos itself, previous sessions itself. We are launching under the same zone. So let's try to connect. So first, what do you have to do? So same keep a rich channel. సో సేమ్ కీ పేర్ ఇచ్చాను అండ్ సేమ్ సర్వర్ నుంచి నేను కనెక్ట్ అవ్వాలి. సో హౌ ఐ హ్యావ్ టు ఎస్టాబ్లిష్ ఏ కనెక్షన్. ఇదేంటంటే నాకు 10.0.091 ఏంటిది? ప్రైవేట్ ఐపీ అడ్రస్ ఆఫ్ పబ్లిక్ ఇన్స్టెన్స్. Private IP address of public instance. If you can check it out. ఇదే కదా పబ్లిక్. దీని ఐపీ అడ్రస్ ఏంటి? ఇది. ఇదే కదా నాకు ఇక్కడ కనిపిస్తుంది కూడా.
సార్
రైట్. నౌ కమ్ బ్యాక్ టు ద ప్రైవేట్. యాక్చువల్లీ ప్రైవేట్ అడ్రస్ ఎంత? 183. దీనికి పబ్లిక్ ఉందా? ఇఫ్ యూ కెన్ సీ క్లియర్లీ దెర్ ఈస్ నో పబ్లిక్ IPv4 enabled. Hence the reason it is not there and we have allowed private subnet. Okay, now one way is you have to jump to this server. As I said, I am there already in the jump server now. Here you have to allow the key which you have in your local. Okay, మీరు సేవ్ చేసుకున్న మీ కీ ఉంటుంది కదా, ఇదే కదా కీ, పెమ్ ఫైల్ కి. You have to give these permissions to that server. That means create this key pair inside the server by copying it. Copy this, go to the server. Here, oh, connection lost as of now. Let's connect to the session once again. Okay, now I am back to my session. Okay, this is the session. Now here I have to create an edit option with VI. VI is the editor in Linux. Okay, Vim antaru. Have you people ever heard? Nano, Vim, VI, not Vim soap, లేదంటే రెక్సానా సోప్ ఏం కాదండి. VI అనేవి ఎడిటర్స్. ఓకే, నోట్ ప్యాడ్లో లాగా మనం ఎలా అయితే క్రియేట్ చేస్తామో, ఎగ్జాంపుల్ ఇక్కడ మనకి ఇది కనిపిస్తుంది, ఇది నోట్ ప్యాడ్ ప్లస్ ప్లస్. ఓకే, అలాగే లైనక్స్ సర్వర్లు అంటే VI అనేది ఎడిటర్ అండి. ఓకే, నవ్ ఐ హ్యావ్ టు నేమ్ దిస్ ఫైల్ సేమ్ VI స్పేస్. ఫైల్ నేమ్ ఏమి ఉండాలి నాకు? ఫైల్ నేమ్ ఏమి ఉండాలి? కీ ఫైల్ కీ పేరు ఏదైతే ఉందో అదే పేరు ఉండాలి. సో హెన్స్ ద రీజన్ ఇదే కీ పేరు కదా నేను వాడింది.
yes sir.
So now I am going to create by pasting it same key pair. Okay, సో ఇప్పుడు నేను ఇది ఎంటర్ కొడతాను. ఇక్కడ లైనక్స్ మోడ్లో ఓపెన్ అవుతుంది. దాని తర్వాత మీరు ఏం చేయాలంటే షిఫ్ట్ ఇన్సర్ట్ అని చెప్పానంటే ఎడిట్ అవుతుంది. యువర్ ఫైల్ విల్ స్టార్ట్ ఎడిటింగ్ ఇట్. The file whichever it is there, your key pair, you can see project key. We are there in the same folder now. I am going to paste it. Okay, right click and paste it. Next, escape key in your keyboard. Colon WQ, enter. Shift insert. Escape WQ, colon, enter. 1 minute, there is some disturbance came up here. Let me close this one. Hide flood. Yes, I have. Yeah, okay, sorry. Shift insert. So can you see my screen, guys?
Yes, sir.
Okay, fine. So now I'm back. Is it proper or not? Let me check. After this one, how many dots? 1 2 3 4 5. 1 2 3 4 5. So this is one big thing which we have to verify while copying. Next you have to do here escape. It is taking this escape. Okay, escape colon WQ, enter. Okay, so now you can do cat it. మీరు ఈ దీన్ని కనుక చూడాలి అనుకుంటే క్యాట్ స్పేస్ పైన P అని టైప్ చేసి ట్యాబ్ కొట్టారంటే దాని పేరు వస్తుంది. యూ కెన్ డూ చెక్ ఇట్ అవుట్. ఇది కీనా కాదా అని చెప్పి మనం క్రియేట్ చేసింది. ఓకే, సో ఈ ఫైల్ యాక్సెస్ అయ్యింది మీకు. నెక్స్ట్ ఫైల్ ఎడిట్ అయింది కదా, దీన్ని chmod స్పేస్ ప్రాజెక్ట్ ఈ సర్వర్లో రన్ చేస్తారు. తర్వాత ఈ సర్వర్ నుంచి 91 నుంచి ఇప్పుడు మీరు పేస్ట్ చేయాల్సింది యాక్చువల్లీ the thing is this one, ssh space hyphen I, and run this one. See, it is asking you to allow s one server నుంచి ఇంకొక server లోకి you are jumping now. See the beauty of it. Now you are previously you are there in 91. Now you are there in 83 session. Here ఏముంది 91. Here if you can see you are there now here 83.
83.
So this is the way how you can do establish. Next what you have to check, పబ్లిక్ సర్వర్ నుంచి ప్రైవేట్కి వచ్చారు. వావ్, ఫైనల్లీ యూ హ్యావ్ ఎస్టాబ్లిష్డ్ ఏ కనెక్షన్ అనుకోవచ్చు. ఓకే, నెక్స్ట్ మై టాస్క్ హ్యాస్ బీన్ కంప్లీటెడ్, ఎవ్రీథింగ్ లుక్స్ గుడ్ అండ్ ఫైన్. కనెక్షన్ ఈజ్ ఎస్టాబ్లిష్డ్ అండ్ ఫ్లో ఈజ్ వర్కింగ్ ఫైన్. And this path I had given, rather than this I will add solid. So connection from this to server, this server I have connected. Okay, so my architecture is completed now. Next I have to check another important thing, internet. నాకు ఇక్కడ నుంచి నేను చేసిన పని ఏంటి అసలుకి, నాకు ఈ సర్వర్లోకి ఇంటర్నెట్ వర్క్ అవ్వాలి అంటే ఇప్పుడు నేనేం చేయాలి, పింగ్ స్పేస్ ఎనీ ఐపీ అడ్రస్ google.com ఆర్ ఎనీథింగ్ వెబ్సైట్, యూ హ్యావ్ టు చెక్ పింగ్ వర్క్ అవుతుందా లేదా. మీకు ఐపీ అడ్రస్ వచ్చింది అంటే పింగ్ ఈజ్ కనెక్టింగ్. ఓకే, next you can do same thing, sudo space m space update. You can check the server, bytes of data is loading. Have you seen?
Yes, sir.
So that means successfully finally you have created a private server. All right,
Yes, sir.
yes, good to hear this. We have created a private Linux server by doing a jump server. Okay, this is the way how you can do resolve the issue. Step 1, by following the first condition by creating a jump server, you have now resolved the first issue which we have seen, timeout connection issue. Yesterday what we have seen, that was resolved now successfully. All right, so
Sir.
now I am going to stop the recording here and I request you to practice the same, and please and to an add-on in this session we will be creating another episode 3, where if we forget or we don't have a PEM key, then how can we do connect to the instance? That also we are going to have a look in the next upcoming episode. Kindly please look into the end of the session. Kindly please subscribe if you like our channel and give a thumbs up. And also I request please help us in liking the channel and sharing to your friends and others. Thank you.